So this contact of mine said that he could arrange for me to go and visit. We had a walk around the site. Okay, thanks for coming. And I said, no, let's go inside. Cue a bunch of phone calls, a lot of waiting around. Eventually it happened.
This is North Korea's biggest mystery.
Its nickname is the Hotel of Doom.
This is Ryugyong. It's loomed over the city of Pyongyang for decades. And this man is one of only 2 Westerners to have ever crossed its threshold.
And yet have never been able to go back, and neither has anyone else.
So what's really going on behind all that glass? What's really happening inside the world's most mysterious skyscraper?
I'm going to bet you've never been here. It's the most secretive city on the planet, and if you did want to visit, then tough luck, because this country's borders are slammed shut.
North Korea is closing its borders to Western tourists
just weeks after the first Western visitors were allowed back in. Authorities have not given a reason for the sudden suspension.
Pyongyang sits in the heart of North Korea and is pretty much impossible to get to. In fact, the closest most of us are ever going to get is by checking it out on Google Maps.
From above, it almost looks like any other sprawling city. That is, until you get to this. Ryugyong Hotel is the tallest building in North Korea. It stands unfinished and empty, just as it has done for decades.
Construction began back in 1987, and to this day, not a single guest has ever stayed there.
In fact, until its doors eventually opened for business, you weren't meant to see inside this building at all, and obviously getting inside would be insanely difficult. But not impossible.
So I'm Simon Cockrell. I'm the general manager of Koryo Tours, and we're the leading company involved in travel and cultural engagement with North Korea. So this contact of mine knew somebody in the construction company and said that he could arrange for me to go and visit.
Simon is a tour guide who's been to North Korea hundreds of times, but inside Ryugyong, well, just once. No one else in the world has managed to get his level of access to this tower, let alone visually document its interior. He managed to get some truly remarkable photos, which he shared directly with the B1M.
Big walk around the lower floors and then up to the observation deck, which is on the 99th floor, and then a view of the city from there. It was fascinating. One of the most interesting things I've seen, but it's alienatingly high. I mean, from other high buildings in North Korea, you can see people, you can sort of interact. This building was so high that everything looked like it was a matte painting or something like that. Had to have an argument about being able to take photos and so on. But yeah, I mean, it was terrific. I would obviously do it again in a heartbeat, and yet have never been able to go back, and neither has anyone else.
Come 2020, the nation closed its borders and shut everyone out. Since then, North Korea has made lots of noise on the global stage.
New Delhi is reviving a forgotten diplomatic posting. I'm talking about North Korea.
North Korea slammed the Israeli attacks on Iran and warned the United States as well as the European powers against fanning up the flames of war.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has thanked the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for providing troops to help Russia fight Ukraine.
And yet, its tallest building has remained just as it always has, pretty quiet.
In fact, since construction started on this hotel, we've seen the invention of the World Wide Web, Nelson Mandela freed from prison, and the Berlin Wall come down. Now, there are loads of skyscrapers around the world that have never completed. They've started but never gone anywhere. But it's difficult not to be intrigued by this one. It's 40 years old and standing right in the heart of the world's most secretive nation. Now, I could have sworn I said to the guys in the meeting once, let's not make any more videos about countries that could get me into trouble. But here we are. There's no record of that conversation happening because it was probably an in-person meeting. But now I've got one of these, the Plaud Note Pro. It's Plaud's latest AI meeting assistant, slim enough to fit right on the back of your phone like that. And it does a lot more than just your average voice recorder. It transcribes every word with speaker labels, to-do lists, and there are over 3,000 summarization templates to choose from. On top of that, it can type text, snap photos, and capture key audio up to 5 meters away. If you've got a long day ahead, then it's all good, because with just one charge, the battery lasts for up to 50 hours of recording time. And you know when you have a thought in a meeting, but then you can't remember what the hell it was 20 minutes later? Well, if I hit the press to highlight button, it instantly marks 30 seconds of audio before and after, so there'll be no more missing those crucial details, which are kept safe with end-to-end encryption. But what really takes this to the next level is Ask Plaud. Built on models like ChatGPT and Claude, it's literally like having a personal assistant in your pocket, which is awesome for busy leaders and entrepreneurs. Somehow, there are even more features we've not mentioned here, so go and check out the link in the description to learn more. Every click helps support the channel. Now, how do you build a massive secret hotel in the middle of Pyongyang?
Ryugyong Hotel was designed in 1987 to be the world's tallest hotel.
Calvin's an architect based in Singapore. He runs a design practice called Spatial Anatomy and teaches at the Singapore University of Technology and Design. But importantly, he also volunteers for the Chosun Exchange, a program which supports and teaches North Koreans across a variety of disciplines.
It was a hotel that was designed to basically compete with the then tallest hotel in the world. It was undergoing construction, which was the Stanford Hotel in Singapore, and it was built by a South Korean construction company. So I think rumor has it that Pyongyang wanted its own world's tallest hotel, and that was really the genesis of Ryugyong Hotel.
It's thought the design might be based on this, a much smaller luxury hotel that opened nearly 150 kilometers away from Ryugyong in 1986. Now, most skyscrapers build with steel because of its incredible strength-to-weight ratio. It allows you to construct tall and slender towers, minimizing the structure's footprints. But what becomes immediately clear from these incredible interior images is that the Ryugyong Hotel is made entirely from reinforced concrete. And there's an important reason for that.
So if you look at most of construction in North Korea, most of the buildings are made of concrete. The entire industry is largely based on that material. It has got to do with the technology transfer between the communist states in Europe and the DPRK. So for example, East German engineers and architects were involved in the early city planning and construction projects in Pyongyang. So what it actually did was to leave a legacy of prefab panels and in situ concrete construction methods.
While the relative high cost of steel has definitely played its part, Pyongyang is built on concrete. It's a material that this nation is incredibly familiar with, so it kind of follows that the hotel would be built the same way. Concrete gives the building this intimidating aesthetic, but the nature of the material is actually a key reason why Ryugyong is such a crazy shape. Aside from trying to make it look like a mountain, which is an important symbol of power in North Korea, it had to have a really wide base. Now, it won't shock you to hear this, but concrete is incredibly heavy, so any structure built entirely from the material will have weight issues. The fix here was to create a massive floor plate and taper the design upwards to avoid a top-heavy tower. The building is 330 meters tall and features 3 wings, each measuring 100 meters long and 18 meters wide. The truncated cone at the tip of the structure is then 40 meters wide.
There are no other buildings nearby that are anything like it architecturally. Looms over a part of the city which is largely architecturally defined by right angles, and the Ryugyong Hotel very much is not. So it stands out. You try to put it in photos, but you need some humans in the photos to give you that scale. But yeah, it was, I hesitate to say life-changing, but it was a really significant moment.
Come the early 90s, the Soviet Union dissolved and North Korea fell into a period of extreme economic hardship. The nation endured the arduous March, which was a period of famine and severe economic troubles. Construction work on this mountainous grey hotel ground to a halt right up until 2008. Then the exterior was finished and a big grand opening was planned for 2013, but that never actually happened.
Now, looking from a distance, you'd be mistaken for thinking this building is ready to receive guests. The exterior features an enormous LED screen used to show film clips and propaganda supporting North Korea's leadership. But as we know, the interior is a very different story. The latest murmurings claim that Ryugyong could become a casino. That's if an external investor is willing to pay for the construction of the hotel's interior. It's even claimed that Kim Jong-un has signed off on the plan that could see this tower become Pyongyang's answer to Vegas. But there's a reason the rumours are just rumours.
Foreign investment in North Korea doesn't exist that much because it's usually not legal. So not every country would be able to put money in. There is a casino in Pyongyang already. It's one room because Koreans aren't allowed to gamble. So is there much of a demand among the not that many tourists for gambling on that scale? No, of course not.
Historic poverty, oppression, and the current political climate mean North Korea's foreign investment options are very limited. As recently as 2023, the BBC reported that North Koreans were facing some of the harshest conditions the nation's people have ever had to live through following the closure of the nation's borders in 2020. But the North Korean embassy in London claimed testimonies were faked by anti-DPRK forces. Back in 2012, it looked like the Kempinski Group might run the hotel, but that never came to fruition. So, will the Ryugyong Hotel ever open its doors? Well, the answer is quite possibly, because it's not very likely that it's going to get knocked down.
It's massive, right? If we are talking about sustainability, it wouldn't make sense to knock down this building because so much concrete has been utilized to build this monumental structure. So from that sustainability angle, right, embodied carbon angle, I think it only makes sense for this building to stay for another 50 to 100 years.
While North Korea's borders are currently on a firm lockdown, the nation does seem to be getting ready for visitors. Talk about the future of Ryugyong is heating up, and a massive Wonsan-Kalma holiday resort has been built. The new beachside development is supposedly based on Benidorm after Kim Jong-un sent emissaries there for a visit. Although Simon assures us that's highly unlikely and nothing more than the tabloids doing what tabloids like to do best. But it's kind of nice to think that Kim Jong-un might be a secret fan of the hit TV show.
Oh, smashing!
The Wonsan-Kalma resort opened this summer, but we've got no idea who its target audience is. Whether North Korea's borders are going to reopen for this resort, or if it's planned as an internal travel destination, your guess really is as good as ours. As always, the nation remains an unpredictable, closed book. But thanks to these incredible images, the inside of the Ryugyong Hotel is now slightly less of a mystery. What lies in wait for the overall future of North Koreans' abandoned supertool is still anyone's guess.
Don't forget, you can learn more about our video sponsor Plaud AI at the link below. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to dive deeper into the definitive video channel for construction, make sure you're subscribed to the B1M.